Once upon a whisper of darkness, a faint hum rose from the horizon, and then the sky erupted. In those moments, the heavens seemed to burn as unseen machines swarmed like bees unleashed. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Frontline Report channel. Please subscribe and like my videos. Today, we're diving into the dramatic saga of how Ukraine launched a massive drone swarm in the operation titled "The Sky Burns, Ukraine Launches Drone Swarm." Let's begin with the exterior scene. Across open fields beyond the front lines, launch sites deep behind Ukrainian territory lit up in the pre-dawn gloom. Hundreds of small unmanned aerial vehicles, packed tightly on mobile trailers, ascended into the twilight sky. From afar, you could see bright contrails, tracer lights, and a swarm that quickly took the shape of a coordinated wave. The target, Russian air, defenses, logistic hubs, frontline support nodes, and refinery sites. As the drones flew deep, beyond radar detection zones, bursts of flame erupted at the target locations, fuel depots, radar stations, munitions dumps. Smoke plumes spiraled upward, tanks of diesel ignited, hangars collapsed, runways cracked. Onlookers miles away felt the shockwaves. The vast sky overhead turned orange with reflected fire. Silhouettes of jamming aircraft and missiles could be seen against the glow. According to defense analysts, Ukraine's decision to deploy swarms of drones overwhelmed layered Russian air defenses. Cheaper drones saturating the skies made many interceptors redundant. Moving inside the complex for a brief view, within the targeted facility, whether an air defense radar station or a supply depot, security corridors echoed with alarms. Emergency lights pulsed, personnel scrambled. Doors blew open, computers sparked, cable looms melted. The swarm had zeroed in on critical nodes, air, control centers, fuel transfer points, sensor hubs. The interior damage was swift and brutal. One drone crash, dived through an unreinforced roof into the maintenance bay, exploded, fire spread through the ventilation ducts, crew shelters lost power. In less than minutes, the facility's mission capability was knocked out. In terms of performance, this operation stands out in several ways. First, scale. Rather than a handful of UAV, we're talking hundreds, if not 1,000 or more, launched in coordinated waves from multiple points. Ukraine has ramped up capability to deploy drone swarms deep into Russian territory. Second, cost-effectiveness. Sparing the need for manned aircraft and high-value missiles, Ukraine utilized smaller drones with cheaper unit cost, trading quantity for high impact. Third, precision and saturation combined. These swarms could both overwhelm defenses and select targets with surgical effect. Research on swarm warfare emphasizes that a large number of cooperative low-cost agents can inflict disproportionate damage on high-value systems. Fourth, strategic reach. Targets deep in opponent territory that were considered safe are now vulnerable, which reshapes force posture and threat calculations. Ukraine's ability to project unmanned systems into rear areas changes the nature of safe zones. Looking at safety features, from Ukraine's side, the unmanned nature of the swarm greatly reduces risk to personnel. Drones don't carry pilots, and launch positions can be remote. The architecture of the operation likely included redundancies, multiple launch points, varied approaches, decoy drones to confuse defenses, autonomous target recognition in some cases. On the defending Russian side, this exposed critical vulnerabilities. High-value installations lacked layered detection and intercept capability against swarms of small unmanned aerial vehicles. Many radar systems and surfaced, where missile batteries remain optimized for large targets, not swarms of small, low-altitude, low-radar, signature drones. Defense analysts note that Russia's vast geography offers space, but also exposes logistic stretches and rear areas to precisely these kinds of attacks. What are the unique selling points of this operation? 1. It symbolizes a shift from defense to offense for Ukraine's unmanned systems, no longer just intercepting incoming threats, but actively projecting power. 2. It imposes a strategic cost on Russia beyond the front line. Logistics, support hubs, Infrastructure formerly thought safe are now in play. 3. It lowers the cost of striking high-value targets. Where once you needed manned bombers or cruise missiles, now you deploy dozens or hundreds of drones. 4. It forces the adversary to divert resources to counter, swarm and counters, UAV defense raising overheads. 5. It sends a psychological signal. When the sky burns, no place is safe. The locus of war shifts from trenches to the air above and the adversary's rear corridors. Regarding price or cost, while exact numbers are often classified or estimated, we can see the cost ratio is highly favorable. Ukraine invests relatively modest sums in drone production, modification, launch logistics, and command control systems. By comparison, the damage inflicted on Russian infrastructure radars, logistic hubs, supply depots, aircraft runs into hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars. One report suggests drones accounted for about 80% of Russia's battlefield losses in some sectors. A low-cost unmanned swarm translates into high cost for the defender. Moreover, the defender must now invest heavily in counters, interceptor drones, radar upgrades, layered defense grids, which further tilts the economics in favor of the attacker. In conclusion, the sky burns, Ukraine launches drone swarm is more than just a headline. It's a paradigm shift in modern warfare. The sky is no longer just contested, it is the arena of swarms. Ukraine's unmanned systems have moved from reaction to action, projecting power, forcing the opponent to rethink defense across vast territory. For Russia, a wake-up call. Rear area safety is gone. Swarms of cheap drones can punch holes in your layered defenses and strike high-value targets with surprising effect. For the rest of the world, this is a case study in asymmetric warfare, when a less resourced actor uses innovation, scale, and velocity to challenge a more powerful force. If you found this breakdown useful, please hit like, subscribe, and share. Stay tuned to Frontline Report for more in-depth coverage of how tomorrow's wars are being fought today.